here on everyone you meet. They come on the screen, they give their lives. We are the people, they won't take us alive. Manipulation, torture, murder, genocide, mechanics of death. All through the sky, a new heaven awaits. And after life of this, we must stand strong. We must resist. They come on the screen, they spill their lives. We are the people, they want to take us They call us rebels, they smear our name. We are the people, we want justice back. They come on the screen, say they want to buy. We are the people, they won't let us
Ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages, it's time for Miles Culture Plate. I am your host, Mild Kevin Miles, and it is Saturday, July 26, 2025, and it's 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern, and yeah, you're locked in. We're here. We've got, looks like we got Shut Up I Can Cook over on YouTube. Cheers and welcome, and Still Not Banned here over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome to you too. Let me get you some sound effects queued up here. Let's see. Let's do this for Still Not Banned here. Let's do a "aw shit."
Oh shit. Here we go again.
All right. Let's get the 5-0 for Cookie over there. All right. Welcome, ladies. Good seeing you. And welcome to anyone else in the chat. I'm going to start off with the we're now a couple of I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit to nerd shit, so feel free to zone out for just a minute, but I'll tie it in to propaganda and internet bullshit, so you might hang on. But we're a couple weeks out now from the Superman movie being released, and I know everyone wants to get their hot review out as soon as the movie comes out. I like to kind of watch a movie after the theaters are packed and kind of ruminate on it and think about what I want to say, especially when it comes to DC Comics. And I just kind of wanted to throw out a little bit of opinion on the movie. I saw the movie, was got to be well over a week ago now. Yeah, about a week ago. And, you know, I've heard all this online buzz, the haters, and the, what do you call it? The Zack Snyder fanboys are crushing the movie and then getting crushed themselves, and they're all coping. They're coping and seething. Well, look, I happen to be a fan of the Snyderverse, so to speak. Cookie going all the way back to Christopher Reeve. Cookie going all the way back to Christopher Reeves. Don't want to see how the devil recreates him later. Yeah, that's kind of part of my opinion of the new Superman movie. It was a great movie. If you want to see a movie that's just an action flick, if you want to see a team up movie, if you want to see a James Gunn movie, you know, sort of the lead up to the film, like almost all of the marketing was about James Gunn and almost none of it was about Superman. Well, now I know why. Because the movie was all James Gunn and hardly any Superman. Don't get me wrong, Superman was in practically every scene. And he was the main character of the movie. Hey, we got Kevin and ABQ over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. However, like the movie was just in mild spoilers. I'm not gonna get heavy on the spoilers, but let me give Kevin an old Taco Bell dong. There you go. There you go. So yeah, some mild spoilers coming up. You know, Superman essentially gets his ass kicked repeatedly through the whole movie, and like he can't win a single battle without the help of his friends and dog and girlfriend and essentially, look, if you're a fan of James Gunn movies, and you know I've kind of liked the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, but this is Justice Gang of the Galaxy featuring Lois and Crypto, because that's really the movie's pretty much about the Justice Gang, Lois and Crypto, and Superman is just the thread that ties all these characters together in one big team up. So that's my opinion of the movie. And, you know, further, being from Kansas, seeing the way the Kents were portrayed as some Ozark backwoods hillbillies, come on, you got to do better. I mean, I get it. James Gunn's not from the Midwest, but come on, man. Come on. It's ridiculous. And so, in my opinion, James Gunn ruined both sets of Superman's parents. I won't give the spoilers for what happened with the Kryptonian parents, but you know, you can find that online. Everyone's outraged about that. But in particular, you know, what's been going on is the constant polarization of people's opinions of the movie. Like I said, I thought it was a good action flick, but being a Superman fan, look, all this whole shelf is Superman. Well, till about here, till about there, the shelf's Superman. But I got a bunch of Superman over here too. So anyway, being a big Superman fan, I'm very particular about, you know, his portrayal in movies, and I didn't like this one, but it was a good action flick. But the internet is so divided on this movie, on whether it was a good movie or a bad movie. I don't think it was a bad movie, but there was a lot of cringe in the movie. First off, there's a scene in particular where Superman's facing a giant monster. Hey, Cyrene Pickle. Dear Lord, cheers and welcome. And coming in with the $5 sponsorship there. Let's see. Let's get you the old. Let's give you the old Windows XP. Yes, and let me give you a second. Let me give you a second sound effect there for the. Thank you for the donation and the gifted subscription over on Rumble. Always appreciate that. Let me get you in the sponsorship. Let me turn that on. Okay. There we go. Your stream sponsor for the day. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oops. Clicked the wrong thing there. All right. So back to what I was saying. There was a scene in particular. Superman's fighting a giant monster. There's a thing where he saves a squirrel's life, and people are kind of outraged. They're kind of not. Honestly, I think it's just cheesy. I just think it's bad writing. I don't think it's uncharacteristic of Superman. I don't think it necessarily particularly needed to happen. I don't think it's, it was cringe. It was cringe. And that's kind of all this stuff around the movie is just a bunch of cringe on top of cringe. But overall, it was a good action flick. And I really liked the portrayal of Guy Gardner. I was kind of, hesitant to have an opinion on Guy Gardner, especially since they're going to be having a whole Lantern series coming out. But there was one scene in particular that has really taken the internet by buzz. And look, let me go back to sort of the marketing around the movie and the internet buzz around the movie. It has been this James Gunn versus Zack Snyder fanboy battle that I want to say I think is 90% manufactured. I think it is 90% manufactured. I don't think that's real. There's a small element from each group that are very vocal, but for the most part, I don't think it's real. And I think they're trying to use it to get normies to think the movie's being attacked and I have to support the movie. And so there's a scene in the movie that's literally about this. They have mind controlled these monkeys to get on the internet and review bomb Superman himself. It's hilarious to me. It's hilarious because it's to me, this is Warner Brothers admitting to what they fucking do. They probably pay people to bot, to hate on their movie, to get empathetic people to support it. Anyway. Still not banned here says, thank you so much, Cyrene. It won't let me accept it, though. No, it's showing that you're a member. Still not banned here. It's showing that you have a membership. It's not a Rumble Premium membership. It's a channel membership that allows you to use my 5 custom emojis that I put in the thing. I probably need to start making some more. But you know how it is. I get a little busy. Anyway, so folks, that's my Superman review. Look, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. 6.5 out of 10. It's a solid action movie. There's some things about the characterization of Superman I didn't like, and none of the characterization of his parents I didn't like. Lois was surprisingly well for the actress cast. I always forget names of actors, by the way. Mr. Terrific was the fucking shining star of the film, and I would definitely go see like a Terrifics movie or a Justice League International movie that's got Mr. Terrific as the helm of the team leader, so to speak. So let's get into the news. Cookie says white women will make Superman gay. Yeah. I never knew you had to ever accept a gifted membership. I thought that was only on YouTube. All right, let's get into the news. I'm going to sneeze. Oh no. Sorry, I meant to mute instead of yell, but I didn't have time, so I decided to go for the latter. All right. A judge has blocked Trump's birthright citizenship restrictions in the third ruling since high court decision. So yes, now a federal judge blocked Trump, third judge, Leo Sorokin, blocking birthright citizenship for children of parents who are in the U.S. illegally, joining another district court as well as an appellate panel of judges who found the nationwide injunction granted to more than a dozen states remains in force under an exception to the Supreme Court ruling. That decision restricted the power of lower court judges to issue nationwide injunctions. States have argued that Trump's birthright citizenship order is blatantly unconstitutional and threatens millions of dollars of health insurance services that are contingent on citizenship status. It's expected to move quickly back to the Supreme Court. White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson said that the administration looks forward to being vindicated on appeal. New Jersey Attorney General Matthew Platkin, who helped lead the lawsuit before Sorkin, said that he was thrilled the district court again barred President Trump's flagrantly unconstitutional birthright citizenship order from taking effect anywhere. American-born babies are American, just as they have been at every other time in our nation's history. The president cannot change that legal rule with a stroke of a pen. Sorry, got a little too crazy there. American-born. Okay, lawyers for the government had argued that Sorokin should narrow the reach of his earlier ruling, granting a preliminary injunction saying it should be tailored to the state's purported financial injuries. Sorokin said a patchwork approach to birthright would not protect states in part because a substantial number of people have moved between states. He also blasted the Trump administration, saying it failed to explain how narrower injunction would work. Yeah, too much Nixon. Yes, that's what I thought. They've never addressed what renders a proposal feasible or workable, how the defendant agencies might implement it without imposing material administrative financial burdens on the plaintiffs, or how it squares with other relevant federal statutes, the judge wrote. In fact, they've characterized such questions as irrelevant to the task this court is now undertaking. The defendant's position in this regard defies both logic and law. But wait, but it's true. Like, you have to narrow these orders. They can't be nationwide. That's why you got smacked down the first time. Anyway, so that's it. We have yet another court blocking shit. In other court news, let's go to, let's see, is this Texas or federal? Federal. There's a federal court from a man in Texas suing a California doctor in an unprecedented abortion pill case. Oh, dear Lord. English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Anyway, abortion pill case over his unborn child's alleged murder. Dear Lord, I can't speak today. The Texas man's filed a landmark federal wrongful death lawsuit against a California abortion provider, alleging the physician murdered his child by mailing pills across state lines. Rodriguez versus Coita marks the first of its kind to test how far pro-life litigants can go to sidestep blue state abortion shield laws using century-old federal statutes and Texas Civil Code. Filed July 20th in the Southern District of Texas, the lawsuit accuses Dr. Reme Coito of aiding self-managed abortions in 2024 by mailing abortion-inducing drugs to Galveston County, Texas, where they were used to end 2 pregnancies. Allegedly. Plaintiff Jerry Rodriguez claims his girlfriend's estranged husband purchased the pills from Koito through a Venmo transaction and then pressured her to take them, ending 2 pregnancies Rodriguez says were his. Woo! Woo! In the heart of the lawsuit is an alleged $150 Venmo payment to Remy Koito, MDPC, labeled AEDAXES, followed by his girlfriend's name. The lawsuit states Rodriguez interprets aid access to be a phonetic spelling of aid access, a network that helps women obtain abortion pills. Rodriguez alleges the first abortion occurred around September 2024 at the home of his girlfriend's mother, and the second in January 2025 at the home of her estranged husband. Ultrasound images from January attached as Exhibit 2 are offered as proof of a second pregnancy. According to the complaint, the baby was a boy. So they could tell it was a boy before she took the abortion pills. Wow. Rodriguez is seeking over $75,000 in damages, certification of a national class of fathers of unborn children, and a permanent injunction barring Koito from mailing abortion drugs in violation of state or federal law. Still Not Banned here says they don't care that people are being literally created. People are literally being created with radical IVF for the sole purpose of gaining citizenship all over the place. Yeah. Cookie says, I'm the descendant of those people, white women, but women in general are evil. Even Jesus said so. All right. The complaint's legal foundation has drawn attention. The lawsuit revives the long-dormant Comstock Act, an 1873 federal anti-obscenity law banning the mailing of abortion-related materials. Though unenforced for over a century, the Comstock Act remains on the books. And Jonathan Mitchell, the attorney behind the Texas Heartbeat Law, represents Rodriguez in the case. He argues that Dr. Koito violated U.S.C. 1461 and 1462 of the Federal Comstock Act by knowingly using the mail to send abortion-inducing drugs from California to Texas. You know, look, state law, this is literally drugs across state lines. Drugs across state lines. The suit also alleges Koito committed felony murder under Texas Penal Code 19.02 by knowingly aiding an illegal abortion. It cites multiple violations of Texas law, including statutes that require abortion drugs to be administered only by in-state physicians after informed consent and mandatory ultrasound, and only at licensed abortion facilities. Koito, who is not licensed in Texas, allegedly met none of those requirements. This case is already being seen as a strategic test of blue state abortion shield laws. States like California, New York, and Washington have passed measures to protect their abortion providers from legal risks when treating out-of-state patients. Rodriguez's legal team avoided those roadblocks by filing a civil wrongful death suit directly in federal court, a move some legal scholars say could offer a new route for anti-abortion plaintiffs to reach providers beyond their own state's borders. As of Friday, court records show Koito had not filed a response and had not made any public statements about the case. Pro-abortion groups are expected to contest both the interpretation of the Comstock Act and the standing of private citizens to bring wrongful death claims tied to telehealth prescriptions out of state. If the case survives early procedural hurdles, it may offer a new template for pro-life litigants to target the supply chain of abortion pills 3 years after Dobbs was decided. Koito has not responded to Fox News. Of course. All right, folks. As you may know, if you've been watching the show for any moderate amount of time, you know that any news about amusement parks always perks me up, right? Always makes my ears perk up, I should say. So whenever I hear news stories come out of amusement parks, I'm always paying attention. But something happened recently that's really, it's caused some debate in some of the communities I follow. So I figured I'd bring it up, see what you folks think. One of the things about theme parks is it's supposed to simulate risk taking, right? It's not supposed to be risky. Amusement parks are supposed to be extremely safe. But there's an aspect of it that's supposed to simulate risk taking. Things you can't necessarily just do in your backyard. Things you can't simply do in your home. Cookie says she's being censored. Blacks telling Africans and West Indians to get out. Okay. I mean, yeah. Sure. But anyway, let's go over to Pennsylvania and get this story out of Pennsylvania, as Hershey Park has revealed new details on the death of a 9-year-old girl. So yes, a 9-year-old girl has died at the wave pool at the boardwalk at Hershey Park on Thursday. And new details have emerged on the death of the 9-year-old girl in a statement obtained by NBC 10 affiliate WGAL. A spokesperson with the theme park confirmed the incident occurred at the wave pool in the boardwalk at Hershey Park. The spokesperson said there were 100 lifeguards at the boardwalk at the time of the incident, and that there were 10 lifeguards specifically dedicated to the wave pool at the time. Hershey Entertainment and Resorts CEO John Law said that the lifeguards, first responders, and medics performed life-saving efforts on the child who was in distress. The Derry Township Police Chief confirmed with WGAL that the child was a 9-year-old girl. Cookie doesn't want sad stories. Well, I'm sorry. This story is very sad. Very sad. There seems to be a death at a theme park like once a year in the United States, and it's very tragic. It's very sad, and it's very humbling for someone like me who enjoys theme park attendance very much. The witness told WGL that the child was limp as she was pulled from the wave pool, and a lifeguard performed CPR as staff tried to shield onlookers from the traumatic incident. The girl was taken to Hershey Medical Center, where she was pronounced dead. Our hearts break for the child and the child's family. We extend our deepest condolences for their loss. Out of respect for privacy, we will not release personal details at this time. Lawn wrote that the safety of Hershey Park's guests was the theme park's highest priority, and that Hershey Park would conduct a thorough internal review and cooperate fully with authorities. Officials have not released the girl's identity or cause of death. The wave pool remains closed. So if I'm counting correctly, I think this is like the third or fourth death of a child in a wave pool in like the past decade. I know up in Kansas City, their wave pool, they've now put a huge buoy line up near the deeper part, to where you can't even get into the deeper part because they had a tragedy recently. And those wave pools are no joke. They kind of start out fun and splishy splashy, but they're meant to simulate ocean tides. Cookie says she's out for now. Good, because we have another couple of sad stories about children coming up. Alabama toddler has died in a hot car while in state custody. The family of 3-year-old Katorius, also known as KJ Starks Jr., is remembering the little boy as a joyful, brilliant, happy boy who loved life and would light up any room he would enter to. The toddler died after he was trapped inside of a hot car while in the custody of a worker contracted by Alabama Department of Human Resources. the state's Child Protective Services Agency, according to the Jefferson County Medical Examiner's Office and the State Department of Human Resources. Birmingham police is investigating the death. KJ had been left inside a car parked outside of a home in Birmingham for several hours during the middle of the day on Tuesday, the medical examiner's office said. It's just hard to comprehend that you would leave a baby in a hot car and have no recollection whatsoever that the baby, a 3-year-old child, is trapped in your car. Courtney French, the family's attorney, told CNN. He died a brutal death. It was humid, with temperatures ranging from 93 to 96 degrees during the 12:30 to 5:30 window when KJ was allegedly left alone inside the car. Heat index values, which factor in temperature and humidity to determine what it feels like in the shade, range from 101 to 105, according to meteorologists. The family says that a worker who was employed through a company contracted by the Alabama Department of Human Resources picked KJ up from daycare at 9 a.m. for a supervised visit with his father. That visit, which was part of a court-ordered process for the parents to regain their custody, ended around 11:30, according to French. Rather than properly returning KJ immediately to daycare, the worker made numerous personal errands with KJ buckled in a car seat in the back of the car. CNN contacted the contract company and the Birmingham Police Department did not immediately hear back. According to a timeline provided by a family attorney, the employee went home at 12:30, leaving KJ strapped inside the vehicle with all the windows up and the car engine off. He was left in the parked car for more than 5 hours before the daycare reached out to ask why KJ hadn't returned. The worker told law enforcement that it was only then she realized KJ was still in her vehicle. KJ was pronounced dead at 6:03 p.m., according to the medical examiner's office. This would have never happened had KJ been with his parents, French added. The Alabama Department of Human Resources said the incident occurred while the child was in DHR custody and being transported by a contract provider. The department noted its contract provider has terminated the employee due to confidentiality. I mean, the person should be arrested. What do you mean fired? Terminated the employee. Well, yeah, no. That person should be in jail. The HR cannot comment further regarding the identity of the child or the circumstances, the agency said. KJ's father described his son as a bright little child. He knew how to count, knew his colors. At 3 years old, he knew all the animals. The father told CNN affiliate WVTM he was just joyful. A balloon release and memorial is planned for Friday, according to French. KJ's death is the first hot car death in Alabama this year, and he's at least the 16th child to die nationwide in 2025, according to Amber Rollins, Director of Kids and Car Safety. This infuriates me on several levels. First off, the fact that here you had two parents who could not come to a rational agreement between adults. About custody and visitation, to where the government had to step in and not just enforce custody and visitation, but had to supply a go-between. This child should not have been in that car. This child should not have been in state custody. But you had two adults who couldn't put the child's needs before their own, who couldn't not use their child as a weapon to argue with each other. And then a government who assumed the role of parent. And just, the cheapest contractor you could find. And by the way, the kind of fucking people who get these jobs. That person should be in jail awaiting trial to go to fucking prison for the rest of their life. All right, in other happy news, since this is a happy show, Cookie doesn't want any sad stuff. Well, I'm sorry, it's not going to get any better. This next article, New York City, New York Post, trans migrant charged with R-wording a 14-year-old boy in a New York bathroom. A migrant transgender is wanted by federal immigration officials, allegedly stalked and R-worded a boy in Manhattan this week, the Post has learned. Nicole Suarez allegedly followed the 14-year-old into the bathroom of a bodega across the street from Thomas Jefferson Park in East Harlem Tuesday and attacked him, police and sources said. The boy then left the bathroom and flagged down witnesses who alerted police. Kind of weird hair. All right. Suarez, 30, who is originally from Colombia, was arrested nearby the following day and charged with first-degree R-word. Suarez was wanted in New Jersey and Massachusetts at the time, and ICE had a detainer on him, a law enforcement source said. The nature of out-of-state charges wasn't immediately available. An ICE retainer is a request to law enforcement agencies to hold an individual so they can be taken into federal custody. The case shows why the city should end its sanctuary city status for dangerous criminals, sources said. It just goes to show that Donald Trump and Tom Homan are correct that you need to get the violent people out of New York City, and Eric Adams, Letitia James, and Kathy Hochul should all cooperate because this person has an ICE detainer. ICE could just pick this person up and deport them back, but our sanctuary city, we can't do anything. Prosecutors initially asked for $500,000 bail and $1.5 million bond for Suarez. But Judge Elizabeth Shamas, who became a judge in January after she was elected on the Democratic ticket, lowered the amount to $100,000 bail or $250,000 bond. Oh yeah, you gotta love that. Yeah. Back, where's that clip I played earlier here?
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
All right. I feel really bad for the kid who has to go through this because his life will never be the same. We worry about the migrants, but what about the victims, said the source. Why are we quoting the anonymous source so goddamn much in this? Suarez was being held on Rikers. This rape... Damn it, I said the word on YouTube. Damn it. This R-worder should be deported so they can't do that to any other innocent young boy, Lindsay Gonzalez said. Who the fuck is Lindsay Gonzalez? That boy must be traumatized a lot for the rest of his life, Gonzalez said. I feel bad for him because I'm a mother. A nearby deli owner, not the store in which the attack occurred, said children come from the park to his deli every day to get candy and shacks? I think that's supposed to be snacks. He was visibly shaken when he heard what happened. My God, that's disgusting, said Azid Hameh, owner of the East Side Deli. He destroyed that little boy's life. All my body is shaking. I want to sit. I can't explain how I feel. I'm more than angry. So yeah, fun times in the city. Let's see. Cookie says Brad's a hot mess at his peak. Who the fuck is Brad? Sangland 86 in the chat over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome, my friend. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Let's get you a sound effect here. Oh, let's do the commie gobbledygook.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
All right. Let's. So wait a minute. Let's go back to that. Just want to show something real quick. You see this trending now up here on the right corner? This here. Yeah, that's the top story over at Fox News. Deputy Director Dan Bongino vows to reveal the truth in a cryptic social media post. Bongino posted a lengthy message on his X account, which he vowed to bring the American people the truth after saying that he had learned things that shocked him. During my tenure here as the deputy director of the FBI, I have repeatedly relayed to you that things are happening that might not be immediately visible, but they are happening, Bongino wrote. What I've learned in the course of our properly predicated and necessary investigations into these aforementioned matters has shocked me down to my core. We cannot run a republic like this. I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned. It's unclear what Bongino was referring to in his post. Bongino is far from the first official to drop cryptic messages ahead of big moves. In 2021, 2022, Merrick Garland stressed the importance of DOJ independence before an extremely controversial plea deal with Hunter Biden was announced. The deal was rejected and caused Biden's DOJ to come under scrutiny, as some speculated the first son was given special treatment. And then in 2016, James Comey announced there'd be no charges filed against Hillary Clinton, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Dan's going to get Hillary. Shit. All right. So, look, let me pause right there. Let me put a little pin in this. Because, yeah, I've been critical of Bongino through this whole Epstein thing, and I'm going to continue to be critical of him. Look, he's got a job he's trying to do, and I'm hoping that part of it is, you're overlooking one major awful thing in hopes that he's doing a lot of good things behind the scenes. But again, as one of the directors of the FBI, going back to the Superman, you try to save everyone. You try to get justice for everyone. And letting the Epstein clients off the hook is not the way. And let me just take this time to just briefly talk a little bit about all this news going on around. Let me just say, you can find in-depth analysis on the Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell and all that. Every other channel on Rumble and YouTube and X, there's plenty of conversations about that. And my opinion of it all is we're just not going to know. And I'm a little upset that we're already offering Ghislaine Maxwell limited immunity deals. I'm hoping the people involved are fucking smart enough not to hand out immunity deals if you don't know the information on the table and whether or not it's genuine. I hope she's rolling over on all the celebrities. But I think the likelihood of that is small. And fact of the matter is, I think that as unlikely as it is, the fact that the Trump administration is willing to make deals with her like this, when you have Congress signaling that they might try to subpoena her, when you have so many people who, all these women who testified against her, who revealed information in her trial about what a monster she is. We can't let this monster out of prison because she's the only one who might lead us to other big fish. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. So I've been here says her camp is admitting she has severe mental health issues. But anyway, in the midst of all this, you had Donald Trump come out saying, "Oh, it's all planted intelligence by Obama and Hillary," which was real stinky to me. Right? It smelled of some bullshit. But that was meant to. I think that was a strategic narrative being planted in all of our ears by the Trump administration, so that when we heard this a couple weeks later, it would sound familiar and sound like part of the agenda.
Director Gabbard, thank you. So just two questions, but to begin on that. The president yesterday, you've inferred that the former president helped lead a coup. Based on what you now see, do you believe President Obama is guilty of treason?
I'm leaving the criminal charges to the Department of Justice. I am not an attorney, but as I've said previously, when you look at the intent behind creating a fake manufactured intelligence document that directly contradicts multiple assessments that were created by the intelligence
we've
community,
known.
the expressed intent and what followed afterward can only be described as a years-long coup and a treasonous conspiracy against the American people, our republic, and an attempt to undermine President Trump's administration.
So we've known for over a year now. What was that? What was that report called? Damn it, I'm having a brain fart. There was the report just a year ago that it was all manufactured, that the Russia was all a hoax. And so all the information they're giving us now, it is a regurgitation. And look, they might have solid stuff behind it. But the fact that Trump is now going on TV and saying Obama is immune from prosecution for treason because presidential immunity is just a blanket thing. No. Trump, they went after you, man. They went after Trump. And yeah, the things they went after Trump for saying that elections should be fair, right? Like, those were in the realm of your presidential duties. Creating a dossier that essentially fabricates intelligence that a candidate in an election is corroborating with the Russian government to hack voting machines. Like, that's not in your presidential duties. I don't see how that can be qualified under presidential immunity. And the fact that Trump is saying, well, yeah, don't expect Obama to be charged, but we'll have the DOJ look at it. To me, it's another stinky thing, just like this Epstein thing. It's, well, yeah, we've looked at the swamp and the swamp looks pretty dirty, but we just don't have the power. We need more power. Congress, won't you pass us more power? Supreme Court, won't you give us some more power? That power totally won't be abused by the next Democrat in charge, right? Kind of reeks of that. As much as I like a lot of the stuff Trump has been doing, this is stinky. Still Not Banned here says he's been floating about his Smith-Mundt Act Revision 2 like a snake. Biggest hypocrite. Cheers and welcome to Cool Frog over on Rumble. Good seeing you.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. So we have.
Cheers and welcome. All right. So let's move on. I mean, granted, you know, I try to maintain hopeful on the Trump administration, but for every good thing they do, it seems like they take giant steps backwards, and just like the Superman propaganda, they want to get us, the American people, chasing nothing burger stories that are going to turn out to be nothing burgers and celebrate them as huge victories for the MAGA movement. Meanwhile, they're getting slaughtered in the courts. Meanwhile, you got guys having to sue because abortion pills are getting shipped to his woman. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then you have this next story, which is the next wild thing, the new race war on the internet. A lot of people talking about this video today. This is from Sky News about a new community being formed in Arkansas. Let's get into this.
No blacks, no Jews, no gays. High up in the Ozark Hills, in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, building houses and a new type of community. It's called Return to the Land, and it is a town open to white people only. They are millennials and Gen Z, and this is a new update of age-old prejudice.
What we've done here is
Prejudice.
establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
But what this sounds like is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
It's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
But they are being kept out, even if...
Well, I mean, you don't let everyone into your home.
Around 40 people live. Hundreds more from across the world have paid to be members. And while the men do the physical labor, the women take care of the children who live here full time. It could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, or if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do.
You might be wondering how
Oh,
any of this...
you hear what she said? You hear what she said?
They can have their own communities, and they already do.
You might be...
The truth. The truth. And yeah, they're wondering how any of this can be legal. Immediately just ignores what she said and goes right into, well, how can we fight these people?
Wondering how any of this can be legal. Return to the Land is structured as a private members association.
Private.
Which they believe
Private.
allows them to discriminate on the basis of ethnicity, along with other factors. That has yet to be tested in the courts and may well fail.
Yeah,
the Arkansas Attorney General
the
has
government
said his
knows
office
better.
is now reviewing the matter as a result of our reporting, and that there is no room for racial discrimination in Arkansas or anywhere in a free society.
See, what's the point? What's the point? You're going to have the government come in and basically fuck these people. You're going to have the government come in and fuck these people. Now, of course, on the internet, we covered a story, I think it was a little over a year ago. And the internet's response to this has been essentially to bring up this next story from over a year ago, where they did the same thing in Georgia with black folks.
That is the sound of freedom. A lush and rugged expanse about 130 miles south of Atlanta, just shy of 97 acres. Renee Walters is one of them. She's president of the Freedom Georgia Initiative. It's a collective of 19
They bought a
black
bunch.
families.
Okay, now look. They bought all this acreage. Actually, let me go to Grok real quick. Let's check out what Okay, I asked Grok, how large has Freedom, Georgia grown? Established in 2020 by 19 African American families, initially spanned 96.71 acres near Macon. By 2021, the project expanded to 502 acres with plans for a self-sustaining community featuring agriculture, business, and sustainable infrastructure. Recent information on its growth is mixed and inconclusive. Some sources suggest progress with developments like well systems, electricity, and a few occupied homes by 2024, alongside a council and community events. Others, including posts on X from July 2025, claim the project is stalled, with land sold off in 2023 and no construction started. No definitive evidence confirms the current status, such as the exact number of residents or completed structures. As of the latest available data, the community has not yet achieved its goal of becoming an incorporated city, which requires at least 200 residents and a charter approval. Estimates suggest living on the land is still years away, with ongoing fundraising and planning efforts noted in 2023. Without clear verified updates, the precise size and population of Freedom, Georgia remain uncertain, likely still under 200 residents and limited to initial infrastructure developments. So it sounds like a cash grab. Sounds like a cash grab. Here we are 5 years into the project. And nothing. Meanwhile, you saw the white community in the Ozarks just now getting going.
No blacks, no.
Already building structures, houses, got playgrounds, heavy equipment, American flags, digging ditches. My initial reaction was the old meme. I've showed this meme on stream several times. Where is it? Here we go. This was my thought. I've showed this meme on stream several times. You do not fit in here. Okay, we'll make our own place. Why are you excluding us? You do not fit in here. Yes, because, you know, anytime people want to self-associate with people like them, it's called discriminatory and segregation. Meanwhile, anyone not in a majority or patriarchal type community is just allowed to do it. Like it's not a problem. But you want to be white or Christian or male or rich. Cyrene Pickle says the Georgia project was probably laundering BLM funds. Yeah, I think so. All right, let's see if we have an ad read. You know what? Yeah, I'll do it. It's only freaking 9 cents, but I'll do it. Let's get it quick. Hey everyone, tired of paying outrageous prices for your medication while other countries... Here, let me actually bring myself up on the screen here. Tired of paying outrageous prices for your medications while other countries pay a fraction of the cost? Trump just signed an executive order to fix this problem, but why wait? BlockbusterHealth.com is already offering Americans these savings right now. We're talking up to 80% off the exact same medications you're already taking. Same brands, same quality, fair prices. Whether it's Ozempic, insulin, or any other prescription, Blockbuster Health connects you directly with licensed pharmacies that offer international pricing, no middlemen, no markup, just honest prices. Call 1-888-350-1353. That's 1-888-350-1353, or visit blockbusterhealth.com. Americans shouldn't have to choose between their health and their wallet. Check it out. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Sorry about the ad read, folks. Trying to participate in the Rumble programs any way I can. Let's see. Still not being here says, oh, that's enough news for today. Vomit. Okay. No, not exactly. Because you may notice the title of the stream. We're going to get into the title of the stream here. As let's go to the AP. The T app was intended to help women date safely, and then it got hacked. A provocative dating app designed to let women anonymously ask or warn each other about the men they'd encountered rocketed to the top spot on US Apple App Store this week. On Friday, the company behind the app confirmed it had been hacked. Thousands of images, including selfies, were leaked online. We have engaged third-party cybersecurity experts and are working around the clock to secure our systems, San Francisco-based T Dating Advice said in a statement. 404 Media, which earlier reported the breach, said that it was 4chan users who discovered and exposed a database that allowed anyone to access material from the T. The app and the breach highlight the fraught nature of seeking romance in the age of social media. Blah, 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 blah. I ain't going to read all that. But that's the basis of what we're about to talk about here. Let's look at T's own website. Let's look into what this app purports to do. Dating tools that say the dating safety tools that protect women. Join 1,647,000 plus women free. Download on the App Store or Google Play. Find verified green flag men. Run background checks. Identify potential catfish. Verify that he's not a sex offender. And check his criminal history. Swipe safely. Avoid red flags. Background checks. Catfish image search. Sex offender shirts. Phone number lookup. Criminal record search. A community over 1,647,000 women dedicated to empowering each other and access to a suite of dating safety tools made just for FBI girlies. This is the important part here. See, they bury the lead, share experiences, and seek advice within a secure anonymous platform. Screenshots are blocked, and all members are verified as women. Okay. So the obvious question is, what about trans women? Are they invited in? Are they in the sisterhood? Are trans women in your sisterhood? Can I just claim to be a woman and be in your sisterhood? Or do I have to have one of those California driver's licenses? Because this is how they verify. They make these women take a selfie with their driver's license. Which is why this hack is quite interesting. Let's go over to 4chan's poll. Now, all of the information in the thread here has been removed. T uploads all user verification submissions to a public Firebase storage bucket with the prefix attachments. If you sent T-App your face and driver's license, they doxed you publicly. No authentication, no nothing. It's a public bucket. This person wrote a Python script which scrapes the bucket and downloads all images page by page. The censoring, okay, he censored some of the images. The images in the bucket are raw and uncensored. Nice anonymous app. This is what happens when you entrust your personal information to a bunch of vibe coding DEI hires. I won't be replying. I did my part. God bless you all regards, Anon. So are you folks ready to do some doxing? You folks ready to do some doxing? So you may wonder what kind of women would want to get on an app so they could shit talk all the men in their dating community. Got Cindy K in the chat over on Rumble. That's aside. I'm not saying Cindy K was one of these women. I was in the middle of a segue. I saw Cindy K in the chat, and I had to acknowledge the new person in the chat. I'm sorry. I did not mean to imply that you were one of these women. Let's do it. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Hey.
Cheers and welcome. I hope you're having a great Saturday. Yes, I am. I'm having a wonderful Saturday. All right. Okay, so let's look at this. So this is a thread going on over on X of just a few compilations of the photos here. Women. So this person's claiming most of them are fat and ugly. So here's one of the pages of photos of women complaining about the men in their dating community. Okay, and this 4chan has compiled what they considered to be the most attractive women using the T app. Not a single 10-10 in sight. Most are mid and under, a couple sixes at best. Now, I'm not usually one. I guess any case is fat and ugly confirmed. Cool Frog giving a cheers in the chat. Yeah. I'm not usually one to make fun of people's looks, but let's be honest. This is an app claiming to be about safety, but this has become this app was what this app was trying to do is replace those Facebook groups where women essentially shit on guys for the bad dating experiences they had with the guys. And so, I'm not shitting on them for necessarily their looks, but let's open a new tab, see where we can scroll in a little. Now, if these are the most attractive women according to 4chan users, for one, like 4chan users, you might have different tastes than 4chan users, but also, yeah, they're sixes, but guess what? Guess who's going to have to use online dating? Guess who's going to have to go to the internet for dating? It's going to be the sixes and above, right? Or the sixes and below. So I'm not necessarily trying to shit on those women, but I find the whole situation funny, and I find it sad. I find it really sad that this is where our dating culture has come. But I'm also really pissed off at these app developers because they found a way to monetize women, right? But again, where are the trans people? Where's the app for men? I bet half of these women would cry about heteronormative spaces. Yeah. And yet, here we are talking about how dangerous men are in dating communities from women who are dumb enough to send their face and their driver's license to some random company in San Francisco that doesn't even know the basics of online security. This wasn't a hack. It was left on a public dump server. You didn't need to hack. You just had to find the URL and you were in. No authentication needed. Cookie says she saw me on X. She was on X. Yeah. Websites are popular. And so in the wake of this hack, The internet has found a way to make the story even funnier. Can I restart the video? What the hell? Okay, let's go to this from Fox News Detroit.
Killer links to get intel about the men they're dating. While it popped off in Detroit this week, and that's led to a serious rumor about a serial killer linked to it. It's the #1 free app on Apple this week, the T app. The women's only app lets you post photos of men you're dating to gauge other women's experiences, rarely positive. And Friday, it was hacked. Users have to take selfies with their license to get approved, and 13,000 of those photos were leaked online. Now the app is beefing up security, but controversy clinging to it in the form of an AI-generated newscast this week.
Police are investigating a string of murders linked to the T app, where women who exposed men were later found dead.
Detroit police say there is absolutely no truth.
Someone made a shitty clickbaity AI video and it's freaking women out in Detroit.
To the so-called teabag killer.
I stuffed their throats with tea bags.
Look at this guy. People thought this was real. Look at this guy.
The post even had a name of a DPD investigator. There's no one by that name that works for the department.
But if you're not looking, these deep fakes can be tricky to spot.
It can mislead you at best. At worst, it can be, somewhat malicious.
But if you're not looking, this AI stuff can be tricky.
Maybe odd phrasing, maybe a weird
Nobody
gesture,
was seriously fooled by this.
long pauses, odd timing.
He sees those inconsistencies in the video about the faux teabag killer posted by Dax News. But older generations might not be as savvy. He says AI will soon infiltrate almost everything that's connected to the internet.
You need to vet anything you're seeing online, and that's never been more important than it is now, where AI really has a role in perpetuating misinformation to some degree.
So let's go back to that data leak that T-App had. Some 13,000 images with licenses and people's faces. I guess the good-ish news, it's from a server from 2 years ago. So all of this new interest in the T-App, you're likely spared. But it's one of those things you got to be careful. They're beefing up the security. But
how are they accessing it, though?
Yeah, I don't know. That's someone way smarter than me is accessing it.
It feels like you're linked to the dark web and that people are able to steal it that way. But it is scary, and especially when you don't know what to recognize.
Oh, dear Lord. She's scared because she's on it. She's scared because she's on it. Right? All right. So let's go into some viral videos. It says the Amish are going to be falling for AI tricks left and right. Cindy K says, well, fuck, now we're going to be looked at sideways because we buy tea bags. Teabag killer. Just look for the guy with tremendous upper legs from all the squatting. Oh, man. Oh, you can't make this shit up. So, yeah, freaking out women in the Detroit area because they were dumb enough to upload their driver's license to the internet, and then they were dumb enough to fall for an AI deep fake of a guy saying he was going to come strangle them with tea bags. It's great. It's great. So this person, go into some viral videos here. This person here had an interesting take on the USAID funding and how a lot of stuff we got used to in our culture just seems to be disappearing. And let's hear this chick's take.
I've been noticing a pattern emerging ever since USAID finally closed its doors on July 1st. All of a sudden, the Democrats are running out of money. And it makes me wonder who exactly was paying for this national tour that AOC and Bernie were going on. Maybe all those private jets they were taking from state to state were getting a little too expensive. And just like the Democrats, Act Blue is also running out of money. And have you noticed that ever since USAID finally shut down that we don't see any more nationwide protests? Maybe all those printed signs and pamphlets and propaganda and this giant Trump baby balloon cost a little bit more than you thought, huh? Also, ever since USAID has shut down, shows are getting canceled left and right. First Stephen Colbert, then E! News. Now all of a sudden The View says that they're going on a hiatus. This is all getting to be a pretty weird coincidence, don't you think? honestly, whatever the heck is going on, I'm just glad that it took The View with them, because those 5 women are insufferable and they have not had a valid take in years. Now, I'm not saying
Oh, fucking Whoopi Goldberg catching strays from USAID.
that correlation always leads to causation, but what I am saying is that I'm pretty good at pattern recognition, and there are a lot of things piling up that are showing me exactly where that money was coming from.
By the way, I thought about, I had another viral video from The View of Whoopi Goldberg coping and seething about, there was a clip where their guest was essentially saying if they had anything on Trump, then the Biden administration would have went after Trump, right? And Whoopi Goldberg was coping and seething, saying, no, that's why we had to have reelected him, because it was coming. It was going to be coming, but we were so busy with January 6th, the insurrection. We were so busy on the insurrection that we didn't have time to root out the actual pedophiles in our government. Yeah. If you believe that, you've really gone off the deep end, Blue Anon and Whoopi Goldberg. All right, but maybe Goldberg, maybe Whoopi Goldberg just needs to go to Chicago and join this group that has formed of citizens of Chicago who have an interesting new hobby.
Going in 3, 2, 1.
Picture us like a pressure cooker. What happens when the pressure cooker gets too pressurized, right? It explodes. I think this is a good way for us to be able to, in a healthy way, release whatever we have going on inside out into the void. I was having a real bad day with my partner one day. We were walking by the lake. I just said to her, "Hey, do you want to go scream by the lake?" And she was like, "Yes, let's do it." There were a few people sitting around, and I just said, "Hey, look, we're about to scream into the lake. I'm so sorry to bother you. Do you want to join us?" And they were like, "Yes, absolutely." So, and we screamed.
Mental illness has gotten so bad that people are now screaming into the lake screaming into the lake. Cookie wants to know why I'm censoring her. I mean, I'm not. Your chats are showing up on the screen up there. I'm not reading everyone aloud, but I'm not reading every one of Still Not Banned Here's. See, Still Not Banned Here was saying these people are getting sued and charged also. Oh, Sangland says you got to go loose leaf if you can swing it. All right. Lipton Tea used to be the distributor. Yeah, loose leaf's pretty good, even though I don't drink tea.
Into the lake. A few people cried, and then
a few people cried.
My girlfirlend, I was like,
cried.
I think this is something that we got to start. And
so they started a
Scream
Club.
Going in 3, 2.
First rule of Scream Club is you don't talk about Scream Club. You scream about it. Okay. And then we have this lovely lady here wondering why she doesn't get hit on.
Tell me why every day I go out looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening, and yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me. Ever. Oh my God, like please. I'll take a fucking construction worker cat call at this point. Please. Tell me why.
Because they know that if they did, like, it's bait. This is bait. This is bait. Right? She wants to encourage simps to start doing that so that she can reject you or use you for resources. Men know that. Men know that. We can see it a mile away. That's why you don't get hit on. So last week, I think it was last week, I think I may have talked about there's a grocery store issue going on in Kansas City where there was a government-run grocery store that's now failing. Let's look at how California is dealing with their grocery problems. Cindy K says she must really be empty inside. Yes, yes. And like I said, it's bait. It's bait. Women like that only want attention so they can either use it or abuse it. They don't actually want genuine contact with another human being. But let's go see what California is doing with their grocery stores.
So here's our grocery store. Every single checkout lane, all the way down, is blocked off with an emergency exit. Stop, don't pass, every single one. And there's no registers open. You have to use self-checkout. And in order to even get out of the self-checkout, you have to scan your receipt. So these doors were open, and you're not allowed to go out this way. This is blocked off now as an emergency exit only. Here, if you open that door, it'll be an alarm. You can only go out the other way. And here we are waiting at the customer service line to get stamped.
I'm laughing at what Sanglant said, Aldi in the hood. Yeah, that grocery store in Kansas City I was talking about that they're having so many problems with because the government funded the grocery store and now the shelves are all empty. Like 8 blocks down the street, there's an Aldi that's successful, hugely successful, and running just fine. And 8 blocks away, mind you. Meanwhile, the whole reason the government is funding the other grocery store is because the political activists said they didn't want a food desert in the hood. Didn't want a food desert in the hood. But the Aldi is doing great. Anyway.
There's nobody here. She said she'll be here in 10 or 20 minutes because she's, quote, always late.
All right. There you go. There you go. You have you have to basically lock up all the groceries in California now and prove you paid for them and no longer have actual service. It's all security. No cashiers, no customer service. It's just security. All right, folks. So you know how the deal. Every Saturday toward the end of the show, we jump over to YouTube. Not the stream. We watch a show on YouTube called Love Don't Judge. And they talk about interesting relationships and the hate these people receive for the uniqueness of their relationship. And we here at Miles Culture Plate, we like to dive over there and determine whether or not these people might deserve a little bit of criticism for what they're trying to promote in their relationship. And we're going to do that now as we jump over to YouTube for Love Don't Judge. I let my husband sleep with other men.
I'm Ren, and this is my partner, Gurdon.
My wife lets me sleep with Ben. We get death threats. We get people trying to call CPS.
We have an open relationship. I've always known that I was bi. People truly don't believe that bi men exist. Your husband is gay. You mean gay. No such thing as a guy who's bi, just gay. He's gay, super gay. You mean you have a gay husband. A lot of throw up.
I wanted to ask, where do you see this going long term?
Oh, no.
Like, do you think that we'll have an open relationship forever?
Uh-oh.
I'm Ren, and this is my partner, Gurdon, and I let him sleep
Ren
with
and
women.
Stimpy.
We met on Tinder.
Well, I immediately thought she was way out of my league. She just looked really sweet and genuine.
I thought you looked a little bit of a D-bag. My plan was to hit it and quit it. Neither of us were looking for a relationship.
Her plan was
I
to
don't know,
hit it
from
and
that
quit it.
day, it's been inseparable. Yeah. We were both married previously. So I think for us getting into our relationship, we wanted to do it right. I've always known that I was bi.
Do what
So
right?
I think
Do
for
what
me,
right?
it was more just being able to have a safe place to accept that. He came out a year and a half into our relationship as being bi. And I think for us having deep conversations, it was kind of,
Hey, babe, I've really been thinking. I'm really wondering what meat in my mouth would taste like.
me being like, babe, I think you might be bi. And that was kind of what led to us being in an open relationship.
Wait a minute. Wait, I gotta go back. What was that again? I interrupted her.
I think for us having deep conversations, it was kind of me being like, babe, I think you might be bi. And that was kind of what led to us being in an open relationship.
I gotta hear that. What?
I think for me, it was more just like being able to have a safe place to like accept that. He came out, like a year and a half into our relationship as being bi. And I think for us having deep conversations, it was kind of me being like, babe, I think you might be bi.
He told me I was bi, so I responded by saying, you might be bi. What the fuck? What is the... I can't even... This is literally too dumb for me to follow.
And that was kind of what led to us being in an open relationship. We would have experiences with single men and have experiences with single women.
Oh, yeah, all the
give each other
cover-ups.
the freedom to explore that. I never get judgment for being a bi woman, but he consistently gets judgment for being a bi man. We've had multiple 3 million, 5 million videos of us going viral for being bi, basically for him being bi. We go live on TikTok all the time, and we get flooded with hate.
Sometimes we get death threats. We get people trying to call CPS.
I can't stop laughing.
Call
The relationship's a
CPS.
joke.
Oh, no.
Why get married?
Do they have
I
children?
really don't believe this bi thing. He's more into himself than he is with you.
Go to church. I can't unsee this. A lot of throw up emojis.
I mean, I'm detecting overcompensation. Like he's disturbed, really.
Makes me want to chug bleach. Your husband is gay. You mean gay? No such thing as a guy who's bi, just gay. Oh no, he's gay, super gay. You mean you have a gay husband? I mean, it goes.
Oh, it's right here tonight. It's just every comment is hate. When I'm having like an off day and I'm in my head,
an off day in his head
don't help. But most of the time, I'm able just to like brush it off and realize that these people aren't very happy in their own life.
People truly don't believe that bi men exist.
I mean, look, he's got a point. We're all unhappy with something in our fucking lives. But dude, you take it to a next level of insecurity and overcompensation. Like all those tattoos and whatever Sanglant was sniffing out here with the cover-ups, like if you were in a gang, like why? Like something about all of this just reeks of a need to belong to someone else's thing.
They think that it's only something that can happen for women. I think it's crazy. I'm over here supporting you, and you know, like we have a very like healthy, happy relationship. The first 3 years of us being in an open relationship was kind of rocky because you're exploring boundaries and you're figuring out like what's going to work for you.
Back in the day, like we had rules of no kissing, no eye contact. Don't call him baby. Don't call him daddy. Like
it wasn't.
Don't
anything
call
that
him
he
baby
was
or
doing,
daddy
per se, that was making me feel jealous. It was my own insecurities, and so
Oh, imagine
I think
that.
the more that we worked on that together, the more that we kind of got over jealousy. Everyone's going to experience jealousy, but I think it's like how you work through it.
I actually like being jealous.
We travel once a month, and most of what we go to are called hotel takeovers. So essentially, a
Oh,
company
freak
will rent
offs.
an entire hotel, and it's
They
a
go to
3
freak
to 4
offs,
day
everybody.
party. So you really just get to go and be free and authentic. There's playrooms. There's
Playrooms are great.
So we're gonna go meet up with my mom for lunch. What do you want to wear?
My sense of style, how would I describe it? I like bright neon things. I like tight-fitting bodysuits. Like you wouldn't even think that a man could fit into that. Yeah, I like to be comfy. I like to show off a little bit. I always say it's like a little bit homeless, but a little bit stylish.
Homeless chic.
If you don't, homeless chic
little bit
is my
stylish.
style.
He's like such a humble person and actually really shy, but his fashion is the complete opposite because he wakes up every day and puts on a crop top. I mean, in the summertime, he's wearing booty shorts pretty much every day, and he's got a nice.
I started off with like wearing crops to the gym, and once I realized, hey, you know what, people really don't care. Just started gradually getting more aggressive, and I don't get any slack in public. It's mainly online. People be like, oh, you wore that in public?
Well, I mean, he's been kicked out of 3 gyms for what he wears to the gym. They're like, why did you steal your wife's shirt?
Why would you?
Do you guys share clothes? I love tight-fitting clothes on men. I think that it accentuates their assets. I like that he can express himself and he can be comfortable.
He's so easy to diagnose, but she's saying a million words with no substance. Have you noticed that? Like, this is why to me women are so fucking hard to figure out, because like there's something fucking weird going on here and I can't fucking pinpoint what it is. But she's insecure, she's jealous and all this about it, but yeah, she's so fucking cool with it and has made it a pet project.
Expressing
And
himself.
feels the need to
Today we're going to meet up with my mom to chat about our relationship.
Well, a little bit of nerves there for sure.
What about you? Are you feeling nervous at all?
A little anxious.
Lauren is my daughter. She's my firstborn. I would just like to ask my daughter and Jordan, are they happy?
So when I came out to you as having an open relationship, how did you feel about that?
Well, at first there's always concerns, like how
Yeah, there's a fucking safety concern, right? I mean, I think this is the thing is, the thing that people in these kind of relationships don't really like to talk about is when you set those boundaries, when you set those rules, like she was saying, where, you can't say baby, you can't get attached, this and that. Okay, well, that's fine. But we've seen these other videos here on Love Don't Judge. Oh, no, Cindy K, you didn't see we've done a couple of these about where, no, they don't mind. They don't mind that. And they've like AIDS, yeah, it didn't go away. It's a manageable thing now, right? It's well, no, we just take our PrEP and we're fine. That's how some of these people act with this stuff. But anyway, back to what I was saying. We've watched these other videos with the more polyamorous relationships where it's more about the actual connecting with the people. It's kind of opposite of what she's saying, where these are more one night stands. That's sort of the trade-off is either you're having the endless one night stands where you don't get to respect these people as people. It's about the sexual experience and the risky behavior that allows you to open yourself up to risk of disease or God forbid, these fucking hotel parties getting robbed or worse. But, not sure what other kind of risky stuff he's been involved in with those tattoo cover-ups. But yeah, so a parent, finding out that their child's involved in this kind of shit, especially with someone who looks like that, yeah, that's scary. That's a safety concern.
Other people going to respond to it, or what kind of impact that's going to have on some of our closer family members. Also, I believe...
Oh my God, no wonder. No wonder she has bad decision making. You just heard all the concerns I would have as a parent. Her parent, the concern she had is, what would other people think? What would my friends think? What would my sisters think?
And the power of self-expression fully. And I wanted you to be true to yourself and have the life that you want to have. And the fact that you have someone to share that with who is just as open and understanding. I mean, I don't know.
I smell bullshit.
A sense of
security. Kind of like us.
Either the mom's okay with
like
it from get-go.
I wanted to ask, where do you see this going long term?
Or the producers of this show told her to say that shit.
Like, do you think that we'll be in the lifestyle, like have an open relationship forever?
I mean, not forever, but probably like in our 60s, I would still see us having a lifestyle like this.
I definitely foresee us
60s.
always being open, always
60s.
being like in the community.
I know that going to like events.
Yeah, or like, will we always like
this
share
dude wants
forever?
a big
I don't
old
know, probably
fucking
not. Maybe
white
like
bearded
60, 70
bear to top him.
Jealousy is definitely something that we've had to navigate in our relationship.
Talk through.
Yes, I feel like the first 3 years were our hardest years.
And it's hard to admit you're jealous sometimes. Just being able to admit that helps. So I've got a question now.
Pasta?
What do you think about my outfits?
What the fuck are they eating?
Do you like
Yeah, that's
them?
pasta.
Or
Your outfits, honestly, it was a little bit of a setback at first. It just kind of threw me off because, I come from a different generation. But then at the same time, I felt so empowered when I heard that other people at the gym were like asking you where you got your stuff.
So would you say you
Empowered.
pretty much accept
She
their
felt
lifestyle
empowered.
too?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah, I accept and support your lifestyle.
Yeah. I love the fact that we're on this
Accept
journey
and support.
together where we're trying to end stigmas and show other people that it's okay to be outside of the box in a
I
relationship.
accept and support.
Giving me, the
That you're
confidence
taking my
to
kid
do what
to
I
freak
do,
off
the
hotel
ability to do what I do, and the support, and been my rock through, ups and downs.
I think that if you are feeling a need to judge somebody, it's probably because you're not feeling satisfied in your own life, your own connection. And if you have something wrong with two people living authentically,
No.
I don't know what to
See,
tell
that's the problem. I don't have a problem with two people living authentically. It's for one, it's not authentic, and what I have a problem with is no one talks about bad experiences that you have. Like, I didn't hear the scary stuff in this video. I know there's been scary stuff. I just know there has. No one talks about the scary stuff. No one talks about the uncomfortable stuff. His eye looks yellow or something. Uh-oh. Yeah, he does seem to have a little weird lazy eye thing going on. Okay. Yeah, my problem is everyone who's in these kind of lifestyles just, there's like a forbidden, we don't speak anything negative. It's all positive. It's all flowers and sunshine. Well, that's not the way human beings work when human beings interact with one another. Where's the poop? Where's the poop in the punch bowl? All right, folks. All right, yeah, it's now about 7:30 Central Time. Let's go find somebody to raid. Let's check my feed for anyone that's currently live. Dear Sarge, but I've been raiding him a lot lately. Got Daramoth doing his Rumble Squared. Yeah, let's raid Daramoth for once. Been a while. Oh, looks like he's got Divinity on there and a couple other cool people. All right. So that's what we'll do. We'll raid Daramuth. All right, folks. So that's going to do it for the show today. Big cheers to everyone who showed up. Giant cheers to Cyrene Pickle for being our stream sponsor. And another big cheers to everyone who's either listening later on demand or listening without the being in the chat. Feel free to stop by later and leave a comment down in the comment section if you were watching and not in the chat. Cheers to you folks. Good having you here. Good having you here. Had a pretty good numbers today. Thank you all for stopping by. All right. Down in the description should be links to all my social media and links to my gaming channel, which I will be live on Monday evening at around 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. Be trying to knock out this last little bit of Baldur's Gate 3. Unsure what I'm going to play after that. Yeah. Still not banned here. Says, see y'all if I don't catch you later. Sanglet says, keep your freak inside the car. Yes, but don't keep someone else's 3-year-old baby inside your car like that crazy person in Alabama. All right. See, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Links down in the description to all my social media. Find me there. Little show note. I projected that I wasn't going to do tonight's stream. Obviously, my plans for the week changed, so here I am. So if you were looking for me to post a show note over on X. Sorry. No, I'm here. And I'll be I'll be over on my gaming channel Monday. And then I'll be right here, same bat time, same bat channel this Wednesday, and as many Wednesdays and Saturdays as I can, 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern, right here on Miles Culture Plate. Till next time, folks. Cindy K says, "Is that game good? I loved 1 and 2. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I've never played. I played like 20 minutes of Neverwinter Nights, but other than that, I've never been exposed to anything in the Dungeons and Dragons world. So it's been pretty fun for me. I've really enjoyed it. I've been a little aggravated at times. I keep attacking myself, but yeah, it's a really fun game. It's got a pretty interesting story. There's definitely, I have a couple minor criticisms about some of the writing, but it's overall fun. I like the world. Pretty good. Yes, always be saving because, dear Lord, I do not save nearly enough. Yes, thank you, Sanglant. Yes, always be saving because half my problem with the game is I just forget to save and then I completely get owned or I own myself. All right, so I got to go mow the grass and cook some burgers on the grill because it is July in Kansas, and every day it's either raining or 110 degrees, and I can never find time to mow the grass. So I'm doing it now after my show while cooking dinner. Fun times. So let's go raid Daramuth and get on out of here. Folks, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Outlast those haters. Don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. I'll catch you next time on Miles Culture Plate. Till then, have a good weekend. Good night.